Well, there goes Miss Minx. She sees me doing things. Finally. Here on Sunday, August the 10th, I'm not gonna lie, I was about to forget y'all this week. I was like, oh, I sat down here and I'm like, I didn't do that the other day, did I? No, I did not. Because I ended up getting home from Parks and Rec and pretty much falling asleep a lot. There was a lot of sleep. I remember there being a lot of sleep. So, yeah, that's what happened. So one correction, I was thinking that I had 2 announcements that I was going to make this week, but one correction, when Marilee, Sean, and I go to Weston next month, it is next month, yes, because it's August now, so it'll be September next month. We're not in September yet. I just keep wanting to jump ahead a month. I don't even know why. But yeah, when we go to Weston, we are not actually staying at the St. George. We are not, unfortunately, staying at the Haunted Hotel. So that's the one that Gail and Angela stayed at when they went down there. Unfortunately, we will not be at that one. Where there's this like little Airbnb, not Airbnb, bed and breakfast that's like right next to O'Malley's. Like they share a parking lot. So it turns out that's the one that we're actually staying in. I think they may all be owned by the same person, because when I went to the website to look at it, because I was looking up the Squire David Tenby room is the one that we're staying in, because it's the only one they had with 2 beds. When I looked that up, it comes up as the Weston Inn or something. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's not the St. George. We're unfortunately not staying in the same hotel Gail and Angela did, with at least the little ghost of a boy. I was going to take my little dingle dong bell and like, oh, feel free to ding the bell if you want to ding the bell, play with that, but not going to get a chance. And as far as I know, there's no ghost stories about this place. I tried to look for some ghost stories about this place, but there again, the place that Sean and I stayed in St. Louis recently, there wasn't any ghost stories about it online, but the owner told us about, supposedly the man who stares out the window, that, a mother and daughter were there. Well, actually, years before, he had a psychic stay in room 1, and she told him that, oh, you have a man servant, the ghost of a man servant in here, and he likes to look out the window, whatever, blah blah blah. And then years later, there was a mother and daughter that stayed in room 1, who I think they were both, or one of them were supposed to be like intuitive or whatever, and they said the same thing about a man in the room, the spirit of a man in the room. Apparently he laid down in the bed in between them, so he was trying to get something started, I guess. I don't know. But little bow chicka wow wow, of course, in the afterlife. Might as well. What else you got to do? I suppose. I don't know. So maybe this place has ghost stories about it that they just not really advertised or whatever. I don't know how widespread the stories are about the St. George either, but I guess if you look up Weston, Missouri, ghost stories, it probably pops up. I was reading stories of people online. Oh goodness. And one of them, they said something about, because it's supposed to be the ghost of a little boy, and he haunts like room 302, 303, something like that area, whatever. And there were these people who they heard a little boy running in the hall, or a child running in the hall at late at night. So they opened the door to like tell him like, hey, calm down, knock it off, whatever, blah blah. Nobody in the hallway. And their room right across from like 303, 302, something, whatever room it is there, they were like right across the hall from that room. So I don't know. Never had quite such a vivid experience as that to share. But I mean, I guess it would be kind of cool if, like, it's not like waking up with like a shadow over you. I don't know, which would be kind of creepy, but I don't know. But so yes, we are not staying in the St. George, but we're still going to Weston, at least at press time. We know how these things can change. But yes, Mom was here this weekend, and she just left. What time is it? She left around 3, so she left about 40 minutes ago. I got started watching the new Project Runway, because I'm watching it because of Utica Queen, or Ethan. His actual name is Ethan, but they don't call him Utica on here. Well, somebody did. They started chanting his name like Utica, and then they're like, "Oh, we mean Ethan, Ethan." You know. But I mean, he's mentioned that he was, in his intro package, he's like, "You might know me as Utica Queen from Drag Race." So it's not like he doesn't want to talk about it or mention it or anything. It's not like he's trying to hide it or whatever. But yeah, we worked. We worked on the vacation a bit this weekend. I didn't think to tell Sean that Mom was coming down. Well, yesterday. We did a little bit of working on the trip yesterday, a little bit of working on the trip today, and I was messaging back and forth with Sean when he would answer, because sometimes that's the problem, is getting Sean to answer, even if you send him something on Messenger and text him. Sean. Getting him to respond sometimes can be a minute or two. So, but we got some shit worked out, I think. So basically, I think we're not staying in Hannibal now. I don't know if I mentioned that. Of course, we were going to be staying there very briefly. We're just going to be staying there Friday night. We're trying to get further Friday night. Or, at least further up north than we are at the moment. So we were going to go stay in Hannibal, but Mom canceled that, and that's she found us, we found some cabin out in the middle of the wood, not in the middle of the woods, but it is right by a river. Like, you can see the river from the back door. It's actually pretty cool. You can see it from the bedroom windows. It's actually pretty cool. It's like this cabin, by the river, and there's a bridge. I think it might be a train bridge though. I don't think it's like an actual bridge that people drive over. But I mean, if it's not in use, maybe Sean and I might walk across it a little bit. Not have like that. Oh shit! What's that movie? Stand By Me, where they're on the train bridge and the train starts coming and they have to run or whatever. That's how Sean, well, he does tennis. He might, even with his bum knee, he might be able to run better than I can. Just jump in the river. That's fine. That'll save us, right? But then, isn't that how they ended up with leeches? Somehow they ended up with leeches in that movie. I don't know. And they freaked out because of the leeches. I don't know. That might not have been the same moment from that movie, but yeah, so we're not staying in Hannibal now. We're going to try to get up north further because we have booked, the one thing we have booked that we definitely know we're doing is there's this ghost tour in the Wisconsin Dells. It's a trolley tour that takes you around. It sounds like it's going to be very much the history of the Ringling Brothers, from the circus. But it takes you from the Wisconsin Dells to Baraboo, which is where Circus World is, that Mom and I went to a few years ago. But I think it was like kind of off season, and apparently it's supposed to be haunted. I guess I didn't know that. Oh, maybe by the ghost of a elephant or something. I think they said something about you could hear the elephant like a in like certain points. I guess I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna stop off in a cemetery, see their graves. Hang out in the cemetery for a bit, see what happens. We did not rent there was some kind of ghost detector or something you could rent for like an extra $15. Didn't do that. I don't know if you can bring your own equipment. We never do. We don't have equipment to bring. But yeah, so that's like the one thing that we booked. And we're going to be leaving Friday after Mom gets off work. And trying to get up as far up north as we can. Well, we're getting as far wherever that place is. I don't even know how much further that is than Hannibal. But did I tell Sean that we're not staying at Hannibal now? I don't know. I can't remember in the multitude of conversations we've had back and forth this weekend. If I told him we're not doing Hannibal now, not staying near Hannibal, try to get a little further, because that is going to be Saturday night, the haunted trolley, tour, and it's at like 5:30, I think. I don't know. So we've definitely, Mom went ahead and bought the tickets for that, so that we would definitely have that to do. But now we've kind of got to rush and make sure to get to the Dells. You know, I think we're still going to make it to Wilton. I think she figured that out. We're not going to be able to do Wimbledon. There's like somewhere in Iowa. There's this Wimbledon court that this guy has built out on his farm. I don't know if I had mentioned that or not, but that's kind of more thing, you know, Sean was wanting to do, because he's the tennis aficionado, and he always wanted to play on like a Wimbledon court. You know, of course, the dream is to actually go and play, you know, be at the Wimbledon court itself. But this guy has built, like, he even had the grass, like the seed shipped in, to be specific to the Wimbledon court. So he's built his own little like miniature Wimbledon court in this farm, on this farm in Iowa. we were looking at it because you can it's an Airbnb, you can stay there, but the court is rented out separately, I guess, at certain points, but they closed the court for the season on September 4th, and we are leaving on September 5th. So we're just going to miss it by a day. It's like, of course, we were going to do it on the way back. So it's like, you couldn't have just stayed open like one more week. Since you know you got somebody who's interested in, you know, coming and giving you money to rent your court for an hour. I think you can rent it for an hour. I don't even know. I don't believe you can have sex there. I don't think it's like the rent by the hour hotel rooms. I don't know all the rules. You'd have to talk to Sean. He's been the one looking into it. Maybe. But, yeah, so we're not doing that now. That is one thing that changed. I was trying to think of I was thinking there was something else that I had to say other than whatever it was I said when we first, we're not staying at the St. George. Things that have changed about the trip. We are still going up north. We're not going to Canada, but I mentioned that already. That was a couple weeks ago when all that went down, and we ended up not being able to get our pass cards that day, so we were worried it wasn't going to stick, or we weren't going to get them in time. But Mom kind of plans on going back up there at least in 2 years, because Mary Lee wants to go with us. So she's like, well, we might go. You know, we'll try to go again in like 2 years. Next year, Mom wants to have a big, because it's going to be her 70th. She's going to be 70 years old, I'm pretty sure. Because I believe she already passed 60. I feel like we did that a few years ago. But next year, she's going to be hitting 70. So she kind of wants to get like the whole family together to do a thing for her birthday. Rent a place somewhere. So we're probably going to be staying more local next year for vacay day. You know, and so in 2 years we're going to go back up north. And Mary Lee might go with us, Mary Lee and Sean. So we shall see. We shall see on all of that. Other than that, it was an interesting week at Parks and Rec because I don't know if you remember, if you didn't see last week's video, the guy I usually mow with was gone this week on vacation. So there was one day I didn't go to work because I was sitting around waiting for them to message me to be like, oh, we'll be there to get you, you know, blah, 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 in 5 minutes. Because they did that on Monday. So I just kind of assumed they'd do that, you know, Tuesday as well. But they didn't. And then I kind of dozed off. And it was kind of like a couple hours later. And I was like, whatever, you know. It's kind of... But then Wednesday I stayed late. And I stayed like 2.5 hours late trying to get Grover, the park that's right there by the shop, get it all mowed up. So Grover Park got mowed. That's the only thing that got mowed this week. Because I kind of thought Riley and I might go out and like do mowing, but there was other projects that needed to be done during the week that he was involved in, so he wasn't available to take me to go mow. There was one day that me and the two new guys went out and mowed down the parking lot at the soccer complex because they're bringing in a bunch of rock and they're gonna, you know, they're trying to kill off the weeds that are growing in between the, you know, the parking, what do you call it? I don't know. Can't think of it at the moment. But the concrete barrier that you park a car for the parking spot. So we went out and we mowed those and weed eated those because they're going to bring in rock and, try to make the parking lot like an actual parking lot again, I guess, without all the weeds. So we did at least go do that, but we didn't do any more mowing. So, and the last 2 days of the week, I ended up having to walk. So I only got like 3 hours both of those days, but at least, I got some hours. Some hours is better than none, I guess. I wasn't sure about Friday because nobody had contacted me, and it's kind of like, well, it's like I could just take the day off again. I thought about it, but I'm like, getting a few hours is probably better than none, especially with this trip coming up, So yeah, Grover Park got mowed, and that was it this week. But when we went out to the soccer complex, like West Park is across the road from the soccer complex. And it didn't look like stuff had grown much since I guess it really hasn't rained too much, I guess, this last week. And it might be getting toward the end of the grass growing season anyway. So I guess maybe it depends on how much rain you get or whatever. I don't really know. I don't know. I know fall is when, the grass kind of tapers off, the grass growing kind of tapers off, but we're not quite there yet. We're still in the midst of summer. It's been a bit warm here. But I have also not heard back from IHOP yet at all. I meant there again, I was going to call the lady on Friday because she said something about working on her kitchen schedule, and she said I'll maybe give you a call next week. It sounded like she wasn't totally certain if she was going to have that worked out by this week or last week, however you want to say it. I don't know, since it's now Sunday. But I thought about calling her on Friday and just kind of seeing what the update was, if there was an update. But then, as aforementioned, I fell asleep, and that was about it. That's about all that got accomplished. And then I think I woke up at like 7 p.m. and I'm like, well, it's probably too late to call her now. So maybe early this week, maybe tomorrow sometime, I can give her a call and see if there's any kind of update on that, or if maybe they've chosen to go with a different candidate. I don't know if I don't know if I said something during the interview that she's kind of like, I'm not hiring this guy. I don't know. She made it sound like she was going to give me a call, but maybe, that's just kind of not killing the dream too soon. I don't know. Not that it's a dream to work 3 jobs, but if it's what I gotta do, it's what I gotta do, I guess, even for a little bit, for a while, if I can. But not yet, not so far. But we shall see on all of that. But yeah, if there was anything else that I needed to update y'all on, I won't think of it until I'm done with this video. So, but that was the last week in a nutshell, from what I could tell. Yeah. So, let's just answer this week's question. Find out how that's going to go. Alrighty-dighty-dighty-dighty-dighty-dighty-dighty. Oop. My page got stuck. If you could be the best in the world at any sport, which sport would you choose and why? I don't care about sports at all. I don't care about sports at fucking all. Mini golf? I don't know. That's fun. I mean, you don't need to be the best at mini golf. You just need to enjoy yourself, and try to get the ball through the clown's mouth or whatever. Just a typical Tuesday night for me. What have you. Like, yeah, I just don't, there's no sport I would want to be good at because I don't care about any of them. Just, no thanks. I mean, mini golf is fun, but it's like, that's because it's fun. I don't play it, don't play it too often, but it is what it is. It's like, and I guess, I mean, I enjoy bowling. That's kind of considered a sport, right? Kind of. I guess I could be the best in the world at tennis. And then when Sean wants to play, because that's what, he was thinking about renting that Wimbledon court in Iowa for an hour, but he didn't have anybody to play with. And I was like, well, I mean, I could play you, but I wouldn't be much of a challenge, because it's kind of like, oh, the ball went over there. Oh no. Guess I'll go get it. Like, I don't really do like a whole lot of running, like I don't have a whole lot of hustle. It's kind of like, eh. But they provide a player for you to play with if you have no one, to play with you. So that's good. That's good that they have that service available. But it's like, I guess I don't really get a chance to do that very often. Like that's the first chance I would have had to play tennis with Sean, I guess. I just don't think there's really anything, because like they're again bowling, but bowling is fun. It's supposed to be a game to enjoy. I mean, not so if you do it competitively, I suppose, but I would just do it competitively, not competitively. Like I'm not a competitive person at all. So it's kind of like, let's just have fun and enjoy ourselves, let's just play a game and have fun and like, that's what I like, like when Sean or Nick or somebody plays Magic, like, personally to me, I don't feel like they're doing it correctly. I speak as somebody who doesn't play the game at all, but no, like they have specific decks built to like combat this, that, and the other, and it's like, oh, this deck is strong against this deck. I mean, I guess it's kind of like Pokemon in that way. Like this Pokemon is good, but like, I mean, isn't the point of the game to just have your deck of cards and like deal with the hand that you're dealt? That's what, like, you're not. I mean, you still have that. Oh, you don't know what card's going to come out when, but you know what cards are in this deck to like, be specifically battle against that deck or whatever. Like, in some ways, it's like stacking the deck in your favor. It's like if you just have a bunch of random cards and you don't know what's like. I don't know. I feel like that's more what the game is supposed to be. But yeah, they play it a little bit too serious, I guess, because it's like they know what deck. They like I said, they build these specific decks to like, well, this is my strongest deck and whatever and blah 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 blah, and it's like, I don't know, like, I feel like you should just have like good cards and bad cards and all of them mixed together, and it's like you just never know what card's going to come out, and then you like actually have to maybe think and react and like oh shit, well that was the wrong card, I didn't need that card, and yes, it's somewhat like gambling at that point, because you don't know what card you're going to end up with. You might end up with a good card, but you might end up with a shitty card. Like, they're all in there together, and you don't know. It's like, I don't know. I feel like that makes the game more interesting and exciting to me. But, I don't know. So, yeah, I guess I'm not competitive in that way, or any of that stuff. It's kind of like, let's just play the game for fun. And most people don't, like, play those kind of course, Magic is so... there's so many cards and they do so many different things and I don't understand any of them, so I'm not, like, Magic's not, or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or any of those card games where this card cancels out this card and hit points and yada. It's like, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. But we're gonna have to figure out games when we go to Weston, because the place we're going to doesn't have a TV, so we're gonna have to I've got all those games in there in the closet, and I even showed, I kind of did a video for Sean the other day, well, Sean and Marilee. It's kind of like, oh, here's all my my games that I have. Maybe if I have that I can maybe download. Can I download that from my messenger? Maybe if I can, I'll add that at the end of today's video so you can see my little thing. But yeah, so we're gonna have to take some games to entertain ourselves, depending on how much time we spend in the room, you know. But yeah, I can't really think of any sport that I want to be good at, because I don't really care about any of them. Meh. I do have a little antidote but I guess I can take you in here, even though the air is on and it's loud. But here in the hallway closet is where I have all of my games, and I actually just bought that one at the thrift store the other day, which led me to think of the story I was going to tell you. But yeah, here's games and a bunch of bullshit. Some of them are like, that's a DVD game, so obviously if we don't have a TV, there's no reason to take a DVD game, because it's not gonna be of any sort of assistance whatsoever. But also at that thrift store, when Mom was in town the other day, I picked up a few movies, and one of the movies that I picked up, oh, it's even on top, what do you know, was this one, Lost in Space. I know I watched this movie, I don't even remember how well I liked it. But it's actually one of the movies that I lost when the water got on my bookshelf over there. When we found the floor had been leaking for who knows how long. So I actually just got to buy one of those movies back for $1. And at first I didn't think I was going to get it, because I opened the case, I was checking them just to make sure. I was like, oh, maybe I should make sure, the movies are actually in here, these DVDs are actually in here. And the guy at the counter, he actually asked me to make sure that I had done that. And I was like, yeah, I checked just to make sure. At first, Lost in Space wasn't in there. But then as I was digging through some of the other movies, I found it. I found the DVD. So I was like, here you go. Put the DVD back in the case, and yeah, there you go. So, but, yeah. Other than that, on to the next week, I suppose. So, and on to the rest of Project Runway, since I stopped it in the middle somewhere to make this video, because as soon as Mom left, I was just kind of like, just kind of vegging out. I was like, I'm just going to watch my shows, whatever, and then like, I looked over to my side, I'm like, oh shit, the book, I've got a question I got to answer, but I'm like, I'll do that. I just got lazy. I'm like, I'll do that in a minute, because we didn't even go shopping or anything today. She ordered us in some Culver's for lunch. So we didn't even go out for lunch. We had lunch brought to us. So it's a lazy day, other than, looking up shit for the trip in less than a month. What is that, 4 weeks now? Vacay Day 2025. We're leaving on September 5th, so less than a month, that's for fucking sure. But other than that, on to whatever else. I'm going to see if I can insert that video here, well, after I shut up. I shall see you what I see you. Let's see what all is up in here. Because I took down Ghosts, and I have Clue behind that. And something called Bumper Cars. I think that's the last one. Oh, wait, no, maybe not. What else is back here? Concentration. Joking Hazard, I think, is what this one. Oh, no, wait. Pretending to Grown Up. That's one over here. There's Taboo behind there. I have Sorry behind that. Picture Perfect, I think, was a pretty fun game. It's where you have pictures and you have to pick things out of it or something. And then those are DVD games. Joking Hazard is kind of like Cards Against Humanity, but with comic panels instead of, obviously never even been opened. 24 is a, we can wear Ninja Turtle masks, because that's a DVD game. DVD, so useless. I also have Trilogy, whatever that is. E.T., an old sexist version of Battleship, where the guys are playing the game and the women are in the kitchen doing the dishes. Had to own that one. I don't know, that's some Loot Crate game. I don't even know what the hell that is. Connect 4 and Upwards, apparently. Those are the ones that I have unpacked anyway.